So we're very honored to have Martha Issa with us today. Martha serves in a very unique position, having to deal not only with the impacts from her company, but both her suppliers as well as her customers. And I'm sure she'll have a lot of great insights to share with us today. So, Martha, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Erin. Since you invited me, I've been so excited about this opportunity because I'm a big fan. I've seen all your episodes, interviews, and I'm very honored to be here with you today.
Well, it's absolutely my pleasure, and I know you'll share a lot of valuable insights for everyone listening in. So let's just jump right into things. Would you please introduce yourself and your company?
Sure. I'm Martha Issa. Everyone asks me how you pronounce your name. So Isa is fine. I'm Senior Director of Sustainability here at Veritiv. And Veritiv, we're one of the largest distributors of janitorial supplies, cleaning supplies, and packaging, and a few acquisitions along the way and co-packing. So we are a $6-7 billion company at this point across North America. And that's what we do.
Why do you care about sustainability? Why are you doing all this stuff?
That's a great question. See, that's why I like your interviews. It's because it's personal and it's also business. And I'm a chemical engineer by degree, and I'm a very curious person. But my career has been in marketing. It's a lot of creative work and sustainability. When they asked me to be part of this journey in sustainability at Veritiv, I was very excited because it's a combination of both. It's a combination of how you communicate, what you're doing, and the good that you can have, and the impact that you can have in our environment, and also science. So I truly believe about the definition of sustainability, that we need to have our planet the same way we found it. And that's why I'm so passionate about it. It's the scientific mindset of solving our environmental problems, especially when it comes to materials and processes. And then how do we communicate this so that we're all engaged in the same objectives?
That's perfect. So, based on that, let me begin with our first real question. What are you hearing from your customers, right? Because at the end of the day, they're the ones who are really driving all of this. So, what are you seeing from customers relative to their sustainability reporting requirements? And where do you think that's going over the next few years?
It's very interesting because 3 years ago, when I started in this role, there was a lot more confusion. Not that there's no confusion today, but what I was hearing from my customers was just like, I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. What does this even mean? Because sustainability, especially in an industry, has been more around our LEED certifications and green cleaning and processes to reduce the amount of water. And then all of a sudden, sustainability gets mixed with employee engagement and rankings and raters and reporting. So I heard a lot of confusion from our customers of what the definition of sustainability is. And that's when we're starting to hear more about the ESG concept, which, even though it was 20 years old, it's just starting to be part of the language of a lot of our customers. So now what I'm hearing is like the definitions, and thanks for a lot of the good work that a lot of people like you have been doing on training, communicating. There's more tools, there's more resources out there to understand the concepts, but there's still a lot of questions on, okay, what do I do now with this? And if I have to report from all the things that I have to report, where do I start and where do I get that information? So I think that what I'm hearing from our customers is less about confusion of what it is and more questions about how to do it.
Could you share a little bit about what kind of things they're actually asking you for? What kind of metrics, what kind of reporting, what information do they want from you?
Yes, and it varies. I think public companies are asking broader questions around how we're performing business, human rights, our turnover rate to understand our code of conduct and how we are doing business. So it's more around the social and governance, inclusive of other environmental aspects. And then other companies are asking us for emissions and what's going to be the impact of our products in terms of the emissions of what we're delivering to them, because they know that they're going to have to report that upcoming here in California, right? And so that depends specifically if they're asking about emissions, but it's way beyond emissions what they're asking for these days.
And when you look into your magic crystal ball, and when you do that, please let me know the winning lottery number that's coming up. But when you look into your crystal ball, where do you see the sustainability requirements, reporting, requests from your customers going in the next few years? More so, less so, bigger, faster, slower? What do you think?
It doesn't require a crystal ball, but it's more intuition based on experience. And I think no one is going to report anything additional than what's required of them. So we are following very closely all the regulations across the country and the European Union, because a lot of companies have business in the EU and they're going to be impacted directly or indirectly. So I think my crystal ball is going to be in following those legislations and the requirements that they have. And particularly in California is the one that has defined the most. And they're mentioning where you need to be reporting scope 1, 2, and 3. And more recently, they mentioned that we have to also, if you've measure scope 1 and 2, that we have to make public your scope 3 in January, as soon as January. So I think that's where my crystal ball is. It's going to be as fast as the regulations are requiring, and depending on where your business is, it can be impacting you as soon as early next year. So fast and furious, but depending on the regulations for sure.
Well, I think it sounds like instead of using a crystal ball, someone's already given you the winning lottery numbers, right? Following the regulations, we know what's coming, so we can just plan for that. But shift
Yes.
gears just a bit. Let's talk about vendors. What kind of things, what kind of advice do you have for your vendors, right? The people who are selling you stuff, because you buy everything from packaging to chemicals to food service disposables, you name it, right? You sell it. So, what kind of things would you like your vendors to be providing to you that would make your life easier so you can meet those reporting requirements?
It could be something as basic as providing their code of conduct, and it could be as complicated as providing their bill of materials, and the weights and very detailed information. So I would say, like, what I'm asking for them, and we're right now in the middle of measuring our scope 3 and engaging our suppliers in a deeper level that we haven't done in the past. And really it goes down to asking for their clarity of what they have. What do they have available? Where are they in that journey? And we're on the same journey. We're in the same boat. So what I'm asking from them is transparency and being able, we're not asking for any secret sauce. So as much information as they can provide about the products that they're selling to us in terms of the weight, the attributes that they might have, certifications and proof of that certification, and then how they're operating their business, anything in between that they can provide as much as they can, regardless of where they are in that journey. As long as they're transparent with that information, that's all we can ask from them.
And for people who are just getting started on their sustainability journey, what are your recommendations to help them get going?
Yes, I get that question a lot, and especially because I was in that place 3 years ago, because this department in our company is relatively new. And where do you start? And then I asked them, where are you in this journey? Because if you are still confused about the concepts, start there. education, going to seminars, taking the training that's available to them in ISSA, understand what sustainability is and what sustainability is going to mean to your company. If they're already there, that they know all those concepts, but they don't know how to put it together and what should I do and to present to my customer, then the answer is talk to your customers. Start with what your customer needs are and what are they requiring from you. And there's many times where we have to lead our customers to a solution, but in this case, I think we need to take the cue from them of what information and what requirements they have from us, and based on that, build your program. If most of your customers are asking you about greenhouse gas emissions and they're interested about their scope 3, then that's where you have to start. If they're asking you more about how you're conducting your business, then prioritize putting the policies in place that they're going to ask for. So that would be my advice is depending on where you are and your knowledge of sustainability, start with the basics on the knowledge and then ask your customers.
That's really great advice. And if you don't mind, I'd encourage them to pay attention to the regulations too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm sure their customers are paying attention to that too. But yes, keeping up with the pace of the regulations and understanding what implications are for their companies specifically, which requires a lot of legal advice from someone. Then inside or outside of your company, it's definitely always a good advice.
Indeed. So, any other things that you want to share, or any advice you have, or anything that we haven't covered in this very short interview?
Yes, I would say that one thing that I found in sustainability more than any other role that I've had in my career is the level of collaboration and openness. There's no competition, there's no industry walls, and the advice that I would give anyone is to find those associations and those places of collaboration, to ask questions, to compare where others are. And I found that just in our group at ISSA and this organization and all the members, the transparency and the willingness to share information is amazing. So I would say that utilize as members, and if you're not a member, become a member and utilize all the tools that we have and network and make sure that you are connected with other people, because you're going to find that in this space people are very, very willing to share ideas and collaborate.
I think you're absolutely right. And candidly, we have to make it so. And I think about this often as being pre-competitive efforts, right? So we can standardize what's going on. And at the end of the day, hopefully we can make this good business, not just because we're required by the government to report on something. So if we're smart, we can really do a good job with all of this and be leaders to our customers and helpful to them.
Yes, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, I think that at the end, and you mentioned this a lot, it's about good business, and if you do this right, is a value creator. It adds value, it adds profits. It shouldn't be an expense and a cost center. It should be a revenue stream if you are on board.
Well, and if you don't mind me saying this, it may not be a revenue stream, but it certainly can help with cost avoidance, right? Which drops money directly to the bottom line. So we also have to make sure that we're thinking about that as well when we think about the financial benefits of sustainability and driving efficiencies and just managing our business more intelligently. So with that, Martha, you're awesome and amazing. Thank you very much for working with us, and we appreciate your time today.
Love the conversation and I hope you'll invite me the next time.